Welcome, Badger families. My name is Jenny Schonsberg, and I am part of the Parent and Family Program team here at UW-Madison. Our office serves as the central resource for all Badger parents and families. We offer a variety of events and services, including these Badger Family Forums. And whether you're joining us live or you're watching this event at a later time, we so appreciate you being here and for supporting your student and UW-Madison. I also want to thank our partners at the McBurney Disability Resource Center for providing captioning for today's event. If you need those professional captioning resources, you can find the link for that in the video description below. And before I begin, we just want to acknowledge what a difficult week it has been. As you may know, a disturbing, hateful video recently posted on social media, and it's caused great pain in our Badger community. So on behalf of Chancellor Mnookin and her leadership team, the university strongly and unequivocally condemns racism, including the blatantly racist slurs and sentiments expressed in the video. Our conversation today will focus on preparations for graduating families, but we are here to provide any support you or your student may need. You can reach out to the Parent and Family Program directly at parent@uwmad.wisc.edu or by calling 608-262-3977. Staff in the Dean of Students office is also available to you and your students. So today we are joined by campus partners who will help answer your questions, share how you and your Badger can stay connected after graduation, and discuss resources available to support your student after they graduate. So let's start by meeting our panelists for today's event. First, we have Carrie Olson. Carrie is the Senior Official Campus Events and Special Programs Manager and joined the Chancellor's Office in 2015. She is currently planning her 8th commencement ceremony and is fresh off of also planning the Chancellor's investiture a few weeks ago, which was fabulous. She has her undergraduate and MBA degrees from UW-Madison, so she's a proud Badger. And celebrating graduates and their families is one of the highlights of her year. Next, we have Callie Hughes. Callie is an event coordinator in the Office of the Chancellor. She is a recent Badger alum, receiving her undergraduate degree in 2021. Callie is still in her first year in this role and is subsequently learning a lot, but most importantly has learned how important it is to celebrate all Badgers and all of their accomplishments. Carla Foster is the Director of Student and Recent Grad Engagement at the Wisconsin Foundation and Alumni Association. She has served in this role since summer of 2021. Before her current role, she worked on campus for approximately 9 years in a number of departments, from the College of Letters and Sciences to Assistant Director of the Multicultural Student Center, where she helped establish 3 of the 4 identity-based cultural centers on campus. Her current work with the Alumni Association has truly been a full circle moment for her. And lastly, we have Shauna Brenneman. Shauna has been the communications director for the Wisconsin Union for 7 years. There, she raises awareness of the union's many resources to help students grow their leadership skills, make connections, and make the most of all the union's resources, such as its dining options at Memorial Union and outdoor recreation services, all of which students can enjoy after graduation as a lifetime Wisconsin Union member, which we will talk about again later. She and the union team are also hosting some graduation festivities, so more details on that to come as well. I just want to say thank you again to everyone who submitted questions in advance of our session today. If you have a question during our program, feel free to submit that in the comment section on the Facebook feed. We have staff there on standby to answer questions as they come in, or they'll feed them to our panel for follow-up. We're going to get that comment section warmed up a little bit, so if you're watching, tell us in the comments, share where in the world you are joining us from. We know the Badger family extends far and wide, and it's always a joy to see how far these forums go and reach. So we're just so excited to see who's joining us today. If we don't cover your question or you think of additional questions after we wrap up, please reach out to the Parent and Family Program via the dedicated family phone line or our email address, parent@uwmad.wisc.edu. We are here for you and we would love to help you however we can. So now we can get into our questions. I thought first maybe we could cover some of just the basics and logistics. Carrie, can you kick us off by telling us some of the nuts and bolts? When is commencement? Where is commencement? When and how folks get to the ceremony, etc.
Sure, happy to. Thank you. So we are a week away from commencement. We spend all semester working towards this point, so it's great to finally be in the home stretch. And for those of you who are watching, I'm sure you're very excited for your graduate to have this accomplishment finally realized. So we are planning on commencement on Saturday, May 13th at noon at Camp Randall Stadium. And we recognize all of our undergraduates, master's degree candidates, and our law school degree candidates at that ceremony. For attendance, gates open at 10 o'clock a.m. and the ceremony begins at noon. And we ask that graduates specifically enter through gate 5. All of our graduates, in order to get down to the field level, have to go through that gate, whereas guests can enter through the other available gates. Seating is first come, first serve for both graduates and for parents and guests. So arrive based on where you would like to sit in the stadium or on the field. And the ceremony typically lasts about 90 minutes. It's contingent on how long our keynote speaker speaks for, but we typically say around 90 minutes. We encourage you to arrive early. This is the largest graduating class that UW-Madison has ever had. At this point in time, we have over 7,778 graduates who have secured a cap and gown, and we hope all plan to attend. So we are encouraging people to arrive as early as possible because we will have a very large crowd in attendance. But we're looking forward to welcoming everyone to Camp Randall next week.
Yes, we know how exciting commencement is for their Badgers and their entire families. And so we often get grandparents who attend. And so one of the most common questions that we get is how we accommodate guests with mobility issues or that may need some additional accommodations. Callie, I'm wondering if you could address this one for us, please.
Of course, yeah. So with commencement, we are super excited to welcome all families, and we are here to support any accessibility needs that may need attention. And that it can include, as you said, mobility aids, any parking that we can provide, drop-off locations, accessible seating, as well as hearing and vision support as well. So with seating and parking, those are things that for Camp Randall, you can request in advance through a form that you can find on the commencement website. And the parking passes can be available for pickup, and the wheelchair seating is addressed when you arrive at Camp Randall. Again, it is first come, first serve within that, but we are hoping that we can provide the best experience for everybody. And for additional resources, again, the accessibility site within the commencement website is going to be your top resource. We try to include everything we can for your guys' convenience. And if needed, the drop-off locations, the vision and hearing are also there as well. And if there's any additional accessibility needs that you may have that are very individualized, you can reach out to us at accessibility@chancellor.wisc.edu, and hopefully we can come up with a solution and provide you the best experience you can at Camp Randall.
Sure. And for those that can't actually make it to the stadium or decide not to kind of participate in that way, are there ways that family can tune in for the ceremony still?
Of course. Yeah. So the commencement ceremony is live streamed online. You can find that at the university's YouTube channel. And there's also abilities to watch it at the Rathskeller as well as the Set, which are located in the Union South and Memorial Union as well.
Wonderful. Okay. So it's safe to say commencement is one of the most bustling weekends on campus all year, and that can make getting around a little bit more complex. Carrie, this is your 8th commencement ceremony. What are your tips for how guests should approach parking and getting around next weekend?
Sure. Definitely plan extra time, arrive early, and most importantly, actually plan for the weather. Sounds really silly, but we actually typically see parents and family members and guests that arrive and aren't quite ready for the weather. As I mentioned, it's a 90-minute ceremony. It's all outdoors. There is no roof on Camp Randall. Camp Randall is a 105-year-old stadium. So it is not modernized. It's not very new. There's no shade. So you are really up against the elements, whatever those may be. So if it is sunny, you will be sitting in the sun for 90 minutes. So be prepared for that. Bring your sunblock, come with the right kind of layering. So those are some of the biggest things actually that we see that family members just don't really think about in advance. And we want to encourage you to think about that as much as possible. Where to park is another big one. So we are a very large campus. We are located right downtown in Madison, and parking is a challenge. It's a challenge for all of us every day, not just on commencement. But we do provide a transportation services map, which is located on our website, and it identifies all of the available lots, and they are free starting at noon on Friday through Sunday. And so you do not have to pay to park in those campus lots. You can find that map on our website, identify which lot you're going to park in before you come, and park in those lots, and then walk to Camp Randall or take the shuttle. So we do provide a shuttle, and those are just school buses, but they run from all of those parking lots along our Madison Metro bus line, and they are complimentary and they are there for you to use. And we highly encourage that because it decreases the amount of car traffic that's trying to get around the stadium. So they'll drop you right at our Camp Randall Arch, which is a great place to take pictures with your graduate, and then you can come right into the stadium from there. So those are my tips.
Thank you. And I don't want to say this too loudly, so everybody knock on wood really quickly, but may have looked at the weather forecast, and so I'm curious, you hinted at this already, Carrie, but Callie, I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about what happens in the event of inclement weather.
Of course. So I have learned from Carrie as well as just, from the campus that commencement is no stranger to some strange weather, including, you can have sleet, you can have really, really hot days and possible rain as well. So with that in mind, we do have inclement weather plans in place for when we do have some unplanned circumstances due to weather. So if there's lightning, there will be a delay, but your best resource is going to be using the social media or website or email. The social media is at UW-Madison for Twitter or Facebook, and also local news media as well. And that's where you will find, if you haven't arrived to Camp Randall yet, the most up-to-date information regarding that. But on top of that, without a delay, let's say it's going to rain, for example, umbrellas are not allowed. You can find our carry-in policy on the commencement website. But as Carrie mentioned, just plan accordingly, plan with layers, with sunblock if needed, and just become prepared as much as you can.
Great, thank you so much. And yes, there is the big commencement ceremony, but in addition to that, the schools and colleges and other kind of affinity groups on campus, they often host these additional celebrations. Carrie, I'm going to come back to you. Can you tell us a little bit more about what those celebrations look like and how families can find out more?
Sure. Yeah. A lot of our schools, colleges, and departments, units, and divisions love to celebrate. We all want to recognize the accomplishments of the graduates during this time. So right now, the best way to find out more information is to talk to your graduate, ask them what they've been invited to, ask them what they want to attend. It may be different for every single graduate, right? Some of them really want to go to certain affinity groups. Others really want to meet with their departments or want to go to their school college event. In order to find out more about those beyond talking to your graduate, we do have a central resource on our website where we list all of the celebration events that we have been informed of. It is not comprehensive in that if somebody hasn't shared it with us, unfortunately, it's not on our website. So hopefully everything is there and can help you in guiding you as to what other events may be out there for your graduate to celebrate with you. And as for guests coming, every event is unique. So the location of the event, the size of the venue may vary. And so it's important for you, again, to talk to your graduate to find out if guests are welcome, if there's a restriction on how many guests might be able to attend. and or if an RSVP is required. In some cases, there is an RSVP and a ticket required. So again, checking with your graduate is really important to make sure that you have those details in advance and you know who can attend what, and you're hopefully not getting turned away at the end of the day. So hopefully all of that will help you to enjoy the entire weekend of commencement, not just the main ceremony and celebrating with your grad.
Yes, we cannot celebrate these amazing students too much. It's not possible. And I'm always wowed. Every day I feel like I hear a new story about a student doing something just so amazing that's going to impact the world. And they just never cease to surprise me. It's wonderful. It's a really great community that we're in here. Okay, so we've talked about kind of the lead up and the day of, so it's here, and it's time to celebrate our Badgers like we've been talking about. Callie, can you tell us a little bit more about what the day looks like on the student side, just so parents and family members have kind of a sense of what their student's going to be up to and how it works for them?
Of course. As a recent graduate as well, I still remember a lot of the details and how the energy was on the day of commencement. The first thing that we like to note to graduates is that they should arrive by 11:10 a.m. as the ceremony starts at noon. Gates do open at 10 a.m. though, and we hope to reiterate to you families, but as well as students, that this is the largest graduating class we've had yet. So, with additional arrival time will mean a better seat for your graduate as well. And with that, then you'll proceed with the ceremony. At Camp Randall, so graduates are recognized en masse, so their name is not going to be read. They'll be recognized with their college, and it's an electric feeling, to say the least. And with their diplomas as well. So diplomas are mailed approximately 6 to 8 weeks after the end of the semester. That just makes sure there's time for grades to be submitted and everything. And then regarding the actual diploma cover, graduates can receive that on Saturday when they pick up their cap and gown rental as well. That's primarily where students will get it. But if they are engineering or business graduates and they don't attend their school or college celebration, or they're a graduate that did not reserve a cap and gown, they can pick up their folder at the bookstore or the registrar's office as well. And then also something that I think a lot of families worry about is, how am I going to connect with my graduate after the ceremony with the amount of people that are, bustling around Madison, Wisconsin. I know something that was very helpful for my family as well as my friends was setting up a meeting place that's far enough away from Camp Randall, such as Memorial Union, Union South, Alumni Park, or the hotel that you guys are staying at. That way you guys can rejoin, take some more photos if needed. But there's also some other good places such as the Arch at Camp Randall as well, that can really provide a good spot for that.
Great, thank you. I'm hoping we can give families a little, like tuning in right now, that a little behind the scenes info. Carrie, can you tell us a little bit about who the commencement speaker is this year, but also how are commencement speakers chosen?
Sure. Yeah, great question. So we're really thrilled to have the 82nd Attorney General, Eric Holder, join us as the keynote speaker this spring, and also the first African-American Attorney General. So the way that a speaker is chosen, typically we work with our senior class officers. Two of them are elected into the position, the others are selected, and we work with them right at the beginning and when they first start out in their role to identify potential speakers. We want them to have as much say in it as possible. We really look at this as their graduation as opposed to the administration. And it just so happens that Eric Holder's daughter, Brooke, is a graduate and an alum, and we're really fortunate that that they are interested in coming back to Madison. In particular for Brooke, she graduated during the pandemic. So for her, this is a little bit of a redo, and we're really excited to have her back on campus. So.
That's so special. Thank you so much for sharing. Honestly, this was the most common question that was submitted. And I actually think it might have been submitted like live as well, but folks want to know, will there be beverages or food available for purchase at Camp Randall during commencement? And tell us a little bit. We've already talked about it a little bit, but maybe a little more about that carry-in policy. Oh, sorry,
Of course.
Callie. I should have said Callie. That's who I'm directing the question to.
Oh, good. It was implied. There we go. So the carry-in policy does not allow you to bring in any food or beverages or any containers, except with the exception of items related to a medical condition. So with that in mind, there are concessions that will be available at Camp Randall for you and your family. It will be a little bit more limited, but it will be there and present. So keep that in mind. But I know when I was a graduate, my family always, we had a little snack before, we went and celebrated. So keep that in mind as well.
And Shauna, I think you might have some tips for where they could grab those little snacks before they head over to Camp Randall.
We sure do. So right by Camp Randall, you have Union South, which is a great dining destination. We will have multiple dining options available to you. Prairie Fire, where you can purchase beverages and appetizers. Set, where you can purchase pub food. And of course, the Daily Scoop, where you can purchase ice cream made right here on campus.
Oh, I love Babcock ice cream so much. The orange custard with chocolate chip. I'm one of those like basic people that's my favorite. Does anybody else here have a favorite? Well, Carrie, what's your favorite?
The Chancellor Manukin's new flavor, Manuki dough.
Yes. So I haven't had it yet. I need to go try it.
Union Utopia.
Union Utopia is another great one. Yes. Callie, do you have a favorite? Sorry, I'm derailing our chat to talk about ice cream. I hope everyone's okay with that.
So I'm recently dairy free, but when I was able to eat dairy, I loved, there's a dark chocolate peanut butter, or there's a chocolate peanut butter one that I really love. That was always my classic and my go-to.
Yum. Shauna, now you got to answer. What's your fave?
Well, we have lots of options available, including Italian ice and smoothies. I love the Italian ice. It's so refreshing on a summer day. And hopefully we have great weather and it'll be perfect weather to enjoy it.
Wonderful. Okay, now we can get back to our questions now that my curiosity has been satisfied so I can break out of my orange chocolate bubble. So are there things going on around campus to celebrate, there are things going on around campus to celebrate throughout the day. So Shauna, I'm going to come back to you in particular, knowing that the union is such a central part of the campus experience. What else are we doing to celebrate over there?
Thank you. We're so happy to be celebrating our amazing graduates and their supporters. With that in mind, we have multiple free concerts planned, including the Mersey Brothers featuring Sean Michael Dargan on May 12th. You can check out all the details at union.wis.edu/graduation. We will also have free professional photos throughout the weekend, an open mic night. We'll also have gifts that you can purchase right on site at our buildings, Memorial Union and Union South, including flowers for your wonderful graduates. There will be plenty to do. And of course, we'll have plenty of seating for you as well and all of our amazing dining options.
Thank you. It sounds like just the most fun weekend. I'm so excited for it.
It's really special.
So thank you, panelists, for all of your wonderful input so far. We're just acknowledging that we're about at the halfway point. We're 25 minutes into our event. So for those of you who may have joined a little late, we're so glad you're here. If you missed the first part of our event and you want to go back and rewatch something later, these sessions are automatically recorded and available at the same link. Or you can always view this content and all of our previous Badger Family forums at any time on the Badger Family Forum website that's on the screen right now. I want to remind everyone who's watching that we provide closed captioning courtesy of our wonderful colleagues at the McBurney Disability Resource Center. Links for captioning can be found in the description listed below the video. And lastly, if you're tuning in on Facebook, please feel free to leave comments or questions or thoughts in the chat. I know there were some technical snafus for a second, but I think everything's back up and running. We have staff on standby there who can respond to your questions or pass those on to us for clarification or follow up later. We welcome your feedback and even just a quick hello to let us know where you're tuning in from. You may already see in that chat, there's a good amount of folks listing where they're tuning in from. So my next prompt to get the chat going is if you have a fond memory of a graduation, either your own or a graduation you attended, would love to hear about your fun graduation memories in the comments next. So if we do not get to your question today, or you think of something later, you can always reach out to the Parent and Family Program. And our email address is parent@uwmad.wisc.edu, or you can call 608-262-3977. Okay, so now we can move into the second half of our questions. And really, we're focusing now on what happens after commencement day. So your Badgers are entering a whole new chapter of their lives. It's exciting, but also scary. Carla, can you tell us more about the new Grad Alumni Association membership and how our Badgers can stay connected?
Absolutely, absolutely. So as a new grad or a recent grad, as we dearly refer to our grads, after graduation or after commencement, you all will be entering a Badger alumni community of over 470,000 living alumni. And one of the first things that that the Alumni Association would love for all of our grads to do is to update your contact information, right? There are a number of different sites and ways that you can link out to that information to update, or link out to that website to update your contact information, so that we can stay connected with you all and keep you looped in on what's happening on campus and within your Badger community. One of the additional perks of being a new grad is that we celebrate you all by offering a 2-year complimentary membership to the Alumni Association. So yes, everyone is a Badger, but you are not automatically a member of the Alumni Association after commencement. But with that 2-year free membership, once you fill out the form and apply for that, you do receive that and are privy to all of the perks and benefits of being a Wisconsin Alumni Association member.
Thank you. So also, I know there's a couple other opportunities, recent grad weekends, social Badgers. Is there anything else you'd like to add about some of those opportunities?
Absolutely, absolutely. So definitely, sort of, yeah, there are a number of different perks for once you join the Alumni Association. You have access to some of our programming, our alumni college, the home field advantage. There's things grandparents university, but I'm sure that's later down the line. But we have alumni travel opportunities and additional perks of, complimentary business cards, discounts to football ticket access, and our members on Fridays in the summer. The Alumni Association has a pontoon boat, and on Fridays we coined those as our member Fridays, and you can come out to your Alumni Association building and take pontoon boat rides on Lake Mendota. So those are some of the benefits and perks of being an Alumni Association member. However, there are other ways to also get involved, right? One of the things is our recent grad council. So we are definitely always looking for bright and energetic recent grads that want to definitely get connected with the Alumni Association and stay connected with their alma mater. And we send out an application process, or we have an application process for folks to apply to join the Recent Grad Council. And one of the biggest things that our Recent Grad Council does is it helps the Alumni Association plan a large return to campus weekend called our Recent Grad Weekend. We've been hosting this event for 1 year, and we're actually going into our second year. It was super successful. We actually sold out last year. And this year, Recent Grad Weekend is taking place June 16th through the 18th. And we are inviting all recent grads back to Madison to enjoy just a celebratory weekend of events with their peers, come back to share in the nostalgia of campus. And there are a ton of exclusive socials, mixers, networking activities, brunch, and things like that you all, that our grads can partake in. And you can also bring a guest as well too. Another opportunity beyond the Recent Grad Council and beyond Recent Grad Weekend is our social Badgers. So if you if social media is your place, if that is where you thrive, there's definitely a way to stay connected and also win exclusive items and perks by sharing just different posts related to the Alumni Association and to the university. So the link was shared, and there's we don't post on your behalf. We send you information for you to post and share out. And every time you post out, or you use specific keywords, you get points, and you can use those points for free prizes and things like that. So definitely a ton of different ways to stay connected. We have our advocacy coalition, and also UW Now events as well too.
Great. Thank you so much. That sounds like fabulous activity happening here in Madison. And we know that many of our Badgers, stay in the Madison area, but some don't. And so for the ones that kind of branch out and extend the, Wisconsin idea across the world, are there networks in other places for our Badgers to dial into?
Oh, absolutely. There are. We have a ton of chapters across the United States, and we also have international chapters as well too, for folks who might be traveling to or returning out of the country. So from our uwalumni.com website, there's just type in chapters and groups, so that you can. There's a form on. There's a section on our website where you can type in the city that you might be relocating to or returning to, and you can find out the chapter that is, within that city or in the nearest distance to that city. We also have our affiliate groups and our affinity groups, and we have 5 affinity groups: our African American affinity group, Asian Pacific Islander and Desi American affinity group, our Kawija Native and Indigenous affinity group, Latinx affinity group, and our new Rainbow affinity group as well. So those are, our identity-based groups that you can become acclimated to or involved in if you want, if the chapter thing is not your, if it's not your thing or whatnot. You can definitely connect with the Alumni Association and the university based on identity and affinity as well. So we have our affiliate groups. Outside of our chapters, affiliate and affinity groups, as I mentioned earlier, we have the Advocacy Coalition. If organizing or being able to speak to legislators on the state and federal level on behalf of the university and advocating for the betterment of the university and the campus, you can definitely join our Alumni Association Advocacy Coalition if that is your thing. And then outside of that, I had mentioned our UW Now event. So if you're not quite sure if you want to get involved in a chapter or an affiliate or affinity group, or the Advocacy Coalition might not be that thing, we do have a number of different events that happen all over the United States through our chapters, or we through our UW Now events that pretty much highlight top researchers and experts that in just all of the exciting and amazing things that are happening on campus, and that folks are looking into and digging into. We host those events throughout the country, and those are different ways that you can connect to the Alumni Association as well.
That's amazing. I didn't know about some of those things, so I'm super excited. I'm also not an alum. Yes. Throw that out there. But it truly sounds like one of the things we talk about all the time is the endless opportunities available to our students here at UW. That doesn't go away when you graduate. Y'all have an amazing infrastructure set up to, tailor to anybody's interest and really keep them involved and connected and part of the Badger family forever. Just won't let you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So on that note, though, after they've been members for a couple of years, how does membership change? What does it look like after those initial 2 years are up?
Absolutely. One of the first things I want to point out about membership as a recent grad is that, we have done our research, we've done our focus groups, and we are very intentional, the Alumni Association, about not reaching out for donations or philanthropic efforts to our recent grads right immediately out of commencement or after graduation. So our main focus is building, either maintaining, building, or creating a relationship with our recent grads. So we don't do any financial or monetary acts. And we also offer the 2-year complimentary membership. After the 2-year complimentary membership, our recent grads, we still have some perks on staying committed as a member, we have a BOGO opportunity. So you can buy 1 year of membership and get a free year of membership at a discounted rate. And then as your 5th year, so 5 years out from graduation, you are still considered a recent grad, and we have a discounted rate before our membership rates go back into the general membership rates to stay a member of the Alumni Association. Other things other ways that you can stay connected to the Alumni Association is an annual membership, right? So after that recent grad, after, you sort of phase out of recent grad, you can stay connected via our annual membership at about $55 for the year, or you can become a lifetime member at about $40 a month or whatnot. So, and then also for the parents that may be watching or tuning in to this stream, we do have a special parent discount that you can gift to your graduate of a lifetime membership to the Alumni Association, so that they can always stay connected as a Badger. So, after, as you transition from graduation and you find your niche within the Alumni Association, whether that's the recent grad council or your chapters or your groups, or coming back to celebrate for homecoming, or other activities versus Grandparents University, or even your 50th year class reunion, there are other ways to still stay connected. Then we start to have the conversation about philanthropy and what that looks like, and the possible sitting or serving on boards and recognition societies for the Alumni Association, which include but are not limited to our Day of the Badger, our Fill the Hill, or major campaigns, and different societies like our 1848 Society, Bascom Hill Society, and our Van High Society.
Again, just a menu of options available.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Shauna, I know the union also has a special way for folks to stay connected after graduation. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Absolutely. So students are temporary members of the Wisconsin Union while they attend UW-Madison. But after, that connection can continue for their entire lifetime. So all the events, the spaces that they enjoy with us, that's Memorial Union, Union South, the University Club, all of the spaces the union has across campus, plus our dining options, our more than 1,000 events throughout the year, most of which are entirely free. Students can continue to enjoy them after graduation by becoming annual or lifetime Wisconsin Union members. And there is a special opportunity after they graduate. For the year after they graduate, they're eligible for a $50 lifetime Wisconsin Union membership. For $50, they have access to everything they've enjoyed as a student for the rest of their lives. And it's tax deductible as well. And some of the additional benefits they have as an alumni member, or anyone as a Wisconsin Union member, they enjoy discounts on our theater tickets, our art studio, outdoor recreation, and something else special that they get is the ability to reserve spaces for personal gatherings at Memorial Union and Union South for free. So if someone is hosting a wedding at Memorial Union, the space rental itself is completely free as a lifetime Wisconsin Union member. It's a tremendous opportunity to save a lot of money on the experiences they already enjoy and maintain that connection and access to everything that they enjoy.
That's huge. I'm learning so much today from all of you. I didn't know about the rental piece. That's amazing. That's a great value.
Absolutely. And it's wonderful to maintain that connection with them. And even if you come back a couple times a year, it's absolutely worth it to become a Wisconsin lifetime member.
100%. 100%. Okay, so we're kind of coming to the end of the main question portion. And so I just want to hit a few housekeeping items before we end today. And that's just to say that, oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to check. We have a couple live questions I'm going to hit first. Sorry, calling an audible here. So we have a live question from Randy. Do attendees need to be seated to reserve their spots, or can we save open seats? Carrie, I'm going to pass that one to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is general admission seating, first come, first served. And so if, let's say you have a large party, 10 or more, and you're there to secure spots for those individuals, I would recommend bringing a coat or even a blanket. I've seen folks do that just to spread out the space and secure those seats. Unfortunately, we don't ticket the event at all. And so once you arrive, you're really responsible for securing your seats. Bring a couple people with you to help you with that if you can. Another thing I'll recommend, though, is you can also sit to the front and back of the bleachers area. So don't always think about it as one long row. Think about it as maybe a couple seats behind you and a couple seats in front of you. And it's easier to tell people, hey, I'm reserving these 2 seats in front of me, for so-and-so. The nice thing is everyone is there for the same reason. So they get it. And they understand that you might be holding seats for someone. Be mindful, though, as we get closer to the start time of the ceremony, Camp Randall fills up and it gets packed and it is hard to find a seat. And so you might get pushed in a bit. So if you can encourage your party, again, to arrive as early as possible, just for the better. Once you have the seat secured and you can leave something there, you're free to go up and grab concessions or go to the restroom. But yeah, you do need to put something there or have somebody monitoring your seat so you can't just walk away.
That's a great tip. Thank you. Thank you. So we have another live question. This one I'll direct to you, Callie. On the shuttle map, there's for the shuttles to get around campus during commencement weekend, there are some parking areas that are numbered and others that are not. And so folks are wondering what are the differences between the two?
Of course, we actually just received an updated map that we'll be uploading as well, that is separate from the shuttle map that outlines all of the parking that you can find on campus. That'll be uploaded today to the commencement website. And those that are listed on the shuttle map, as well as this new updated map for parking, outline the ones that are free for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And there are some restrictions, which is what is outlined. But the ones on the shuttle map are kind of key spots for you to park that will be available through the weekend of commencement.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. A few more live questions here. Carrie, where and when do graduation gowns get returned?
Yeah, great question. So we encourage graduates to keep their gowns for a while. The photo ops usually continue after the ceremony is completed. So feel free to use those throughout the weekend. Take pictures. We love seeing graduates around town capturing the moment. We actually put large 2023 numbers on the base of Bascom Hill to encourage graduates and families to take a picture. And as Shauna mentioned, there's photo opportunities at the terrace as well. So as far as returning regalia, we just ask that it goes back to the University Bookstore, which is located on State Street. And once you're in the facility, you just go down the steps and return your regalia there, and they take care of it from there. And you can return it at any time after graduation. Unfortunately, we don't have a return option immediately following the ceremony. We used to, but as you can imagine, it was absolute chaos with over 6,000 graduates. So we now just ask that you go to the bookstore and return it at your earliest convenience.
Great. Thank you. Let's see here. So we have another one. Let's see, this one, we're going to Carrie again. I keep coming back to you, Carrie, but you're the expert. Can graduates meet their parents in the stands after the ceremony?
Another very good question. So graduates are actually directed out of the stadium in 2 specific directions, north and south. So to the north end zone is gate 10. To the south end zone is gate 10. To the north end zone is gate 5. We, again, with that large size of graduate population, we cannot be allowing them up into the stands to meet parents in the stands. So as Callie mentioned earlier, it's really helpful if you identify a location where you're going to meet your graduate that is outside of Camp Randall. It could be a gate number, or as Callie mentioned, out at the Arch or another venue or location where you can meet back up. But due to fire codes, due to a lot of reasons, we have to keep the students kind of going out at the field level, and then all of the guests and participants are asked to exit as they came in. So graduates, just as graduates are not allowed to go up into the stands, family members and guests are not allowed to come down onto the field at any time, even once the ceremony has ended.
Thank you for clarifying all of that. That was very clear. So now I think we've reached the end of our live questions. So we're going to pop into just those like housekeeping last minute wrap up things that we had talked about. And so one of the really common questions is that will Badgers still have access to some of the career resources available to them while they are in school after they graduate? And it really depends and varies by the school and college. But in general, they do have access to those for about a year after they graduate. We recommend that your student reach out to the career services office for their school and college to get kind of specific information about what's available. And then another kind of logistics piece is that what happens to their student email. So they've been using an email and a calendar system for years. Does that all just shut off after commencement? Absolutely not. After graduation, students will continue to have access to their UW-Madison email, calendar, contacts, tasks, all of that. What they won't have access to is if they use Box, which is a cloud storage system, and Qualtrics, which is a survey software that we use on campus. So there are certain things that go away, but that core email, calendar, contact suite would still be available for students. We know there's a link actually that has some of these steps laid out for related to IT and email and whatnot, like with that. We are going to send that out to graduating families in the next couple weeks here. And I think, Carla, did you also have something to add about career services?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually away from campus, but connected with the Alumni Association for our recent grads coming up in November of 2023 and March of 2024. The Alumni Association will be hosting an event called a Badger Meetup, which is one of our networking events. So in November, our professional networking events. In November of 2023, we will be having a Badger Meetup in the Milwaukee area. And in March of 2024, we will be having a Badger Meetup in the Chicagoland area.
I'm writing that down right now because we are thinking about doing the Badger Family Forum theme for November is career services. So how perfect
awesome.
is that?
Let's
so
connect on
another
that.
message from me. We'll stay in contact. We got one more live question coming through. It's a clarifying question. Parent would like to know, if I bring an empty water bottle to Camp Randall, can I fill it inside to have water while waiting for commencement? Carrie, Callie, I'm not sure if one of you wants to take that.
Sure, I'm happy to. I will say it is allowed. However, there are not very many water stations in Camp Randall. As I mentioned earlier, it's a 105-year-old stadium. We do sell water at the concession stands, but yes, you can certainly bring in an empty water bottle and locate the nearest water fountain for filling that.
Thank you. So as we end our time together, I'd love for our panelists to share just some closing thoughts. Wow, I am struggling the further along we get into this session. Is there anyone who has other things they'd like to share or that we might have missed?
I'm happy to jump in with just, I know I've said it repeatedly to come early, but I have neglected to share what goes on before the ceremony starts. So gates open at 10 o'clock, and we do essentially kind of a live show. We play music that the graduates have selected. We have a t-shirt cannon. We do live shout outs from graduates on the field. And we also hand out rally towels to the graduates. And so there's just a level of excitement and enthusiasm and a lot going on in that time between 10 o'clock and noon. And so you won't be bored. And so I just wanted to throw that out there.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Carrie. Anyone else want to chime in? Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And to keep in that same vein of celebratory spirit, just wanted to remind you all that your Alumni Association is here for you as students on campus and after, well into alumnihood. So please be sure to mark your calendars again for recent grad weekend to come back and share in that nostalgia, which will be June 16th through the 18th. And registration for Recent Grad Weekend is open until June 2nd or until we sell out. So.
Great, thank you. Callie, Shauna, any last thoughts, last words?
I can go ahead. Yeah, I think just reminding yourself why you're coming to campus, and it's to celebrate your Badgers, and to also remind yourself to be patient, as this is a really old stadium, and your graduate is going to be thankful for that as well, and thankful for your presence. But just reminding yourself to kind of take everything all in and keep that patience present as well.
Great tip from a recent grad, knows from experience.
The day is long, but it is fun.
Shauna, anything from you?
Just want to wish you congratulations as the supporters of these incredible students. It's been an honor to be part of their years here at UW-Madison, to be a place where they enjoy, where they relax, where they dine, where they study, where they learn. We are so proud to have been part of that time with them. And we're also proud to be part of so many graduation moments here. It is beyond an honor to be able to wish somebody congratulations on such an incredible honor, and to be able to sometimes say congratulations, doctor, and call them doctor for the first time for many of our graduates. So being part of those moments is so special to us. And we hope to be part of many more special moments in your and your graduate's life in the future as lifetime members of the Wisconsin Union. Congratulations.
Oh, Shauna, that was so wonderful. I have goosebumps right now. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, all of you panelists, for your expertise, your time, your insights today. The families are definitely thanking y'all in the comments, and so grateful for the information. So thank you. As a reminder to everyone, this session is recorded. So if you were listening on your lunch break and weren't able to take notes or anything like that, you can always go back and watch this again via the same link you used to get here, or on that Badger Family Forum webpage as well, where we have not just this session, but all of our archived content. We have a couple extra reminders. So first, actually, this is more of an announcement than a reminder, but we're actually taking a break from Badger Family Forums in the month of June. And that's so that when we return in July, we're going to come back ready to connect and help all of our new and incoming families prepare for the fall. So we'll be back in July and August to welcome in all of those new folks to the Badger family. Second reminder, for those of you that are still around, if maybe you have multiple Badgers or you just really feel part of the Badger family, save the date for Family Weekend. It's happening October 20th through 22nd, 2023, and registration will open this summer. Make sure you're subscribed to our Badger Family newsletter. That is the best way to get the latest updates and find out when registration opens. That is the best way to make sure you're subscribed is parent.wisc.edu/join. And so that's the best way to find out that if you're subscribed or join if you haven't already. I'm going to have one last plug. We are here for you in the Parent and Family Program. Whatever your questions, comments, concerns are, you don't know who to call, who to contact, your student is struggling and you just don't know how to support them. That's why we're here. We're here for you, and we are available anytime. Parent@uwmad.wisc.edu. That's the dedicated email. And then our phone line is 608-262-3977. Thank you again so much for joining us. Congratulations and take care. On Wisconsin, everyone.